afternoon, softball fans, and welcome to Rogers Sports Complex and Channel Field for the sporting matchup between the Fort Dodge Dodgers and the Carlisle Wildcats. It's time to meet the teams. First of all, the visitors, the Fort Dodge Dodgers. Here are your non-starters. Number 7, Riley O'Brien. Number 8, Aubrey Alstott. Number 10, Brooklyn Gilliland. Number 13, Kinsley Nelson. Number 14, Rylan Hewitt. Number 15, Carson Porter. Number 16, Ava Greiner. Number 17, Jocelyn Bishop. Number 19, Tori Jakeman. And number 20, Allison Beatty. Your assistant coaches, Nick Benson, Roger Porter, and Brianne Drees. Now here's your starting lineup for the Dodgers of Fort Dodge. Leading off and playing shortstop, number 1, Hope Alstott. Batting second in center field, number 3, Taryn Rippentrop. Batting third, doing the catching, number 11, Ellie Duster. Cleanup hitter for the Dodgers, designated player number 18, Grace Nichols. Batting fifth at third base, number 2, Macy Wills. Batting sixth at first base, number 5, Kelly Zimmerman. Batting seventh at second base, number 12, Emerson Lara. Batting eighth in left field, number 4, Meg Marsh. Batting in the ninth position, right fielder, number 9, Melina Meyer. And your pitcher, flex player, number 6, Sydney Carver. Head coach for the Dodgers, Andy Adams. And now let's meet the home team, the Carlisle Wildcats. Here are your non-starters. 00, Peyton Vogel. Number 1, Courtney Hoffman. Number 7, Leighton Freeman. Number 9, Aaliyah Garcia. Number 14, Lacey Beller. Number 15, Margaret Tice. Number 17, Serenity Rivas. Number 22, Olivia Peterson. Number 24, Maddie Munson. 26, Josie Hempstead. 35, Kaylee James. 36, Chloe Prendazil. 46, Harper Noland. And 55, Marcella Krambeck. Your assistant coaches, Justin Flaws, Taylor Best, and Matt Best. Now here's your starting lineups for the Wildcats of Carlisle. Leading off playing right field, number 28, Chloe Riding. Batting second in center field, number 5, Anaya Oates. Batting third at shortstop, number 21, Olivia Freeman. Cleanup hitter for the Wildcats at first base, number 2, Mally Stoner. Batting fifth, doing the catching, number 25, Claire Benson. Batting sixth, doing the pitching, number 11, Estella Bowman. Batting seventh, at third base, number 18, Ella Smith. Batting eighth, playing second, number 43, Mira Heidemann. Batting in the ninth position, the designated player, number 20, Rosie Hempstead. And your flex player in left field, number 27, Alyssa Egnor. Head coach for the Wildcats, Jim Flaws. Now fans, please turn your attention to the home plate area. The umpires assigned to this 4A contest by the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union are: at first base, Bruce Kaiser. At third base, Chris Sneed. And calling the balls and strikes today, Terry Gilfretti. All right, who's ready for state tournament softball?
Good afternoon, softball fans, and welcome to Fort Dodge, Iowa, as we are here on Channel Seed Field for the Girls State Softball Tournament presented by Iowa Farm Bureau. Alongside Addie Wells, I am Brad Wells, and we are getting ready for this matchup between Fort Dodge and Carlisle in this 4A field. As we'll catch this game and the rest of the 4A coverage today right here on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy Company. We just had Tim Fitzpatrick set up our starting lineups, and this is a fun one here as you have in this 4A field Carlisle, winners of their first 2 games, facing a Fort Dodge team who battled back through the elimination bracket, fending off North Polk earlier today.
Yeah, this is a highly anticipated rematch, actually. Carlisle defeated Fort Dodge in the second round of the quarterfinals to send Fort Dodge to the elimination bracket, or the bracket of opportunity, as I've started to call it. But this is definitely going to be an interesting matchup. Neither teams are starting what we would necessarily consider their ace, and these are both very powerful offenses. So it's an interesting strategy to try to keep these offenses at bay. Maybe some of the strategy has to do with this double elimination format. We maybe are anticipating that if necessary game. But either way, I'm excited to see how these pitchers approach both of these lineups.
An adjustment of strategy that needs to be made in 2026. You're watching 2026 Girls State Softball Tournament coverage presented by the Iowa Farm Bureau as sole title sponsor. The Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union, Iowa Farm Bureau, is proud to champion our youth and all they have to offer Iowa's future. So Estella Bowman, the freshman, in the circle for the Carlisle Wildcats, getting ready to see the top of this Fort Dodge Dodgers order. And first pitch is in there for a called strike on Hope Allstott, the junior shortstop. Allstott, an excellent tone setter for this Dodgers team, and head coach Andy Adams. 1 ball, 1 strike. That changeup drops off before it hits the strike zone. Yesterday we saw both pitchers utilize their outside pitches and their off-speed pitches to keep both lineups off balance and not giving them too much that they're able to barrel up, and I'm anticipating the same. Slapped right side, and the catch is made at first. Stoner with the catch. As Mally Stoner, the senior, starting at first base, as you mentioned, kind of that number 2 pitcher for both of these teams. Mally Stoner, the senior, headed to Iowa State to play softball and locked in as a pitcher. It's All-State in 2025. So Allstott is retired now. Taryn Rippentrop, the senior center fielder. Swing and a miss. Rippentrop, really the team glue and captain of this Dodgers team, according to Coach Adams, headed to Indian Hills Community College to continue playing softball. Did she offer at it? She did not. And they're going to check down to third, and they say no, she did not offer. One and one, the count. Trying to put the bunt down, goes foul. So Rippentrop back to the plate, will be down in the count now, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
We saw this yesterday. We know that both the Dodgers and the Wildcats have the ability to hit for power, to play long ball. They both have the ability to play small ball as well. They both proved that yesterday, and especially not starting either of your aces, being able to put pressure on the defense, make the outs is going to be key.
One misses outside. This is the first game of the day for Carlisle. Again, a 3-2 win over North Polk on Monday for Carlisle. 8-3 win over Fort Dodge on Tuesday. That forced Fort Dodge to play earlier today. They defeated North Polk 2-1 and earned the right to play Carlisle. That one just off the plate. And with this double elimination format, if Carlisle wins this game, Carlisle is in the state championship game. Well, they will face ADM. And if Fort Dodge wins, they will come back and they will rematch tonight at 7:15, and the winner of that game will play ADM in the state title game. Slap left side just over top of the third baseman, Ella Smith. And a 1-out single for Rippentrop for Fort Dodge here in the first.
Well, if you're Ella Smith, there's really not much you can do with that. She was playing in, anticipating the bunt, the slap, the soft slap, and Rippentrop was able to just bounce it right over her head. That's a tough play. Great job by Freeman to get behind her and attempt to make a play, but that's some Dodger magic right there, and the fans are definitely feeling it.
So Ellie Doster now digs in with one on and one out. And 2 RBIs against Clear Creek Amana. Here's a slow roller out front. Charging and scooping it up nicely and making a clean throw is Bowman, the freshman pitcher, to get out number 2 at first as Rippentrop advances to second base.
That's a big out, especially against powerful offenses. You want to try to limit the back-to-back hits. That was a great job securing not only an out, but the second out. But again, Doster did move Rippentrop into scoring position, and with Nichols at the plate, this could be dangerous.
Nichols an RBI in the first 2 games for Fort Dodge, and that one's hammered foul towards that third base dugout. Nichols, just a sophomore, the designated player, real physical presence in the batter's box. One ball, one strike to count. Good patience by Nichols. Addie, the energy so high here in Fort Dodge at the state tournament, and that first inning, everybody's juices, it feels like, are at 100%.
Yeah, especially at the beginning of the game, the momentum, everybody's trying to grab it and run with it. So it's definitely very energized on Channel Seeds Field right now.
And there is a pass ball that is going to send Rippentrop down to third. Benson behind the plate. Tried to frame it, went just off the top of the glove.
It's especially helpful that Fort Dodge has their home crowd here and a nice bit of a student section.
I was able to talk to Fort Dodge head coach Andy Adams earlier this week down here, and she said, I wanted to normalize this for our girls, but also understand that I want it to be special for them. This is where Fort Dodge plays their home games all season long. And coach said when we walked in on Monday and there's all these pink banners and there's a huge logo in the middle of the center field, she's like, my girl's eyes got so big, and she thought, oh no, this is going to feel like the moment is too big. But they responded and got that win on Monday, and now are one of 3 last teams remaining here in 4A.
Yeah, it's definitely a balance as a player to make sure that you're giving yourself credit for getting to this moment and recognizing that it is somewhat of a high-pressure situation, but still being able to keep those nerves at bay, turn it into excitement, and still play the game you know how to play.
Nichols is a 500 hitter on the season, and that pitch grounded to the shortstop. Freeman to throw over to first. And it is in time to Stoner. So Fort Dodge, a base runner, gets all the way to third, unable to score. We head to the bottom of the first, as this is the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy Company.
At Mid-American Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Yeah, it's a trip when you hit the road. And when you know when you've arrived. It's a trip when you get everything you want. The burger and the fries, the creek and the crick, the city and the countryside. It's a trip when you're where you're meant to be. In this moment, in this bathroom mirror, looking like $1 million. And yeah, it's a trip when it goes by fast. Des Moines. It's a trip. Make it yours.
Welcome back to the Iowa Girls State Softball Tournament presented by Iowa Farm Bureau here on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy Company. To the bottom of the first we go. Carlisle will lead it off with rolling Oates and Freeman, as the Wildcats came into the state tournament 33-5 and able to add 2 more wins. So they come into this game 35-5. And Chloe Rowling will lead things off. The sophomore right fielder hitting .551, number 4 in Class 4A in terms of batting average, and leads Class 4A in stolen bases. When she gets on, watch out, 60 stolen bases on the season before the trip to Fort Dodge.
Yeah, she's definitely who you want at the top of your lineup. She's been batting over 500 coming into the state tournament. So you want her to get on base, and you want her to be able to move around those bases quickly.
She was 2 for 4 in the win over North Polk and 1 for 4, scored a run in the victory over Fort Dodge on Tuesday. Slapped to the shortstop, and Allstott makes the play. And there's one away here in the bottom of the first. So Anaya Oates now the batter, sophomore center fielder. Hitting .459 this season. She shows bunt, pulls it back. Oates 1 for 2, both on Monday and Tuesday for Carlisle. Had a triple yesterday, scored a run against Fort Dodge. Looks at strike 1. 1-1 the count. One outside, now 3 balls and a strike for Oates. Oates very patient at the plate.
Yeah, Carver seems to be working kind of all over in the zone right now. I'm not sure if they're trying to give her a lot of different looks or if she's just trying to settle in this first inning. It's an intimidating offense to go up against.
Pushes the count full, so 3-2. There's a line drive into center field and a nice play by Rippentrop. First step came in. And a hard line drive by Oates.
Carlisle so far doing what they need to do, putting balls in play hard. But Fort Dodge defense also showing up exactly how they need to, making the plays.
So Olivia Freeman is the batter. Senior shortstop. Hitting better than 400. Just a tenacious competitor, according to Carlisle head coach Jim Flaws. Your number 40 at Carlisle for Coach Flaws. A little flare to the right side, popped up and caught by Lara at second base. And it's 3 up, 3 down for Carlisle offensively in the first. We head to the second inning. As you're watching the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy Company.
If you grill it, he will come.
Hey.
Is this heaven?
Nope. It's fairway.
Something exciting is growing on Iowa farms these days. Innovation. From tractors that seed, weed, and harvest with data-driven precision to drones that scout or plant cover crops to protect soil and water. Even our animals live in smart homes with round-the-clock care. Technology keeps your food safer, water cleaner, and makes us more sustainable. Because what we do here benefits everyone here. Life on the farm makes everyone's life better.
We head to the top of the second inning. Fort Dodge and Carlisle. Carlisle in an opportunity to win and advance to the state title game. Fort Dodge an opportunity to force a rematch later tonight with Carlisle and Fort Dodge in this double elimination format. 5'6" comes to the plate for Fort Dodge. Macy Wills, the freshman third baseman, will lead off this second inning. Carlisle Smith at third base crashing hard as Wills showing bunt initially.
Yeah, I love this movement from the Carlisle defense. Smith and Heidemann both charging hard. They know what to expect from the Fort Dodge offense.
2 balls, no strikes, the count. Bowman, the freshman in the circle, delivers and catches the corner there. Fort Dodge is at the state tournament for the 20th time in school history, 8th time in the last 9 years. There's a grounder to Smith at third, makes the throw over to Stoner in time, and there's one away.
Great job by Bowman to produce that weak out. Again, working that outside corner, forcing the Dodgers to either roll over something weak or pop up something weak, and she did just that, and Smith handled it for her.
Ella Smith, senior third baseman, headed to Wartburg College next year to continue playing softball. Zimmerman now the batter. Junior first baseman for Fort Dodge. And that's a base hit. Grounder right up the middle for Callie Zimmerman. Fort Dodge with their second hit of the game and jumps on the first pitch.
And that's exactly how you want to respond after the teammate before you just produced a week out. You've got to gain some momentum there. You need a base runner. A hard base hit knock does the trick.
Zimmerman 2 for 3 earlier today against North Polk. Having an excellent day in the box. And now Emerson Lara, the batter. Looks at a first pitch strike. Bowman able to shake off that base hit, come right back, put one in the zone.
Yeah, Lara didn't record a hit this morning against North Polk, but she did record a hit and a run against Carlisle on Tuesday.
Here's the 0-1. Oh, a line drive caught by Stoner. Diving catch made. And there's 2 away. How about the catch by Mally Stoner?
Yeah, that's a true athlete right there. It was kind of a floater, but she knew she could get to it right off the bat. Great angle, great effort.
So Meg Marsh comes up with 2 outs and a runner on. This one's chopped away, foul and out of play. Marsh, just a freshman, Coach Adams says she has been a pleasant surprise for us this season, really blossoming and coming into her own. Excellent outfielder and base runner, and getting more and more comfortable in the batter's box. There's a grounder right side. It might have a play at first. Good hustle by Marsh, and now in a rundown is Zimmerman, and Zimmerman's going to be tagged out as Freeman, the shortstop, able to apply the tag. So a single for Marsh, but Zimmerman caught between second and third. So 2 hits, no runs to show for it as we head to the bottom of the second inning. This is the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy Company.
At Mid-American Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Whether you volunteer or hang with friends, play pickleball, read or follow trends. No matter what your retirement style, you deserve healthy eyes and a healthy smile. Some Medicare plans don't cover vision or dental. With Delta Dental, you can save on what's essential. Get coverage and take care of your health. It's peace of mind, so treat yourself. It's more affordable than you might think. Give us a call or visit this link.
Back. Bottom of the second inning, Carlisle to the plate for the second time. They'll lead things off with Mally Stoner. Stoner, the senior. Nickname is Clutch. She'll be headed to Iowa State to play softball. All-State last year. And we have time by the third base umpire here. And we had time called before the pitch, so no pitch on that one. We had time called first. So first pitch at the bottom of the second comes now here to Mally Stoner. And that's in there for a strike.
I love how Carver is coming in and just attacking Stoner right away. One of the best hitters, if not the best hitter, for this Carlisle offense. And Carver's coming straight for her, not dancing around her at all.
Stoner hit .371 on the season, 28 RBIs, 10 doubles. 2 home runs this season. It's in that cleanup spot. A laser to the third baseman. Wills knocks it down. The throw to first. Oh, is just in time. Just gets Stoner. What a recovery by Wills at third.
That was a great stop by Wills at third. Pure reaction. Didn't really have to move much, but stick her glove out, knock it down, and fired a bullet over to Zimmerman at first to retire Stoner.
That brings up Claire Benson, junior catcher. First pitch ball by Carver. And that one misses. 2 balls, no strikes. Both of these teams offensively, and you'll see patience at the plate.
Yeah, we'll see lots of it. Both these teams know what they can hit hard and what pitch they're looking for in order to do so. It's great discipline. It's great softball.
And Benson works a 3-0 count, facing Carver. And Carver puts one in there, 3-1. Pulls back, looks at another strike. Count runs full. And Benson, someone is a 2-year starter for this Carlisle team, puts it all on the line. Grounds it through the left side of the infield between Wills and Allstott. And that is the first hit of the game for the Wildcats.
Benson with a base hit to left field. Puts her safely at first.
Yeah, that's big from Benson, who didn't record a hit against Fort Dodge yesterday. But Fort Dodge was able to limit Carlisle from scoring yesterday in all of the innings that they got the leadoff runner out. And so far they've done that. But Carlisle will try to push one across this inning, their first base runner of the game.
And a courtesy runner at first now, Chloe Prenisil, an 8th grader, in to run for Benson, the catcher. So Prenisil into the game. Estella Bowman pulls the bat back and looks at ball 1. Bowman went 1 for 2, scored a run yesterday against this Dodgers team. Just a freshman. Pitcher and first baseman for this Wildcats team. And is in the circle to start this Wednesday contest here in Fort Dodge at the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union State Softball Tournament, presented by Iowa Farm Bureau. So 2-1 the count. Bowman, a softball player, also an excellent musician. Hits this one high into right field, and underneath it to make the catch is Meyer. And there's 2 away.
Great job by Carver coming back after giving up a hit and producing one of those weak outs that we've seen the Dodgers also do it against the Bowman in the circle. So, again, we're seeing a pretty evenly stacked softball game right now.
It brings up Ella Smith. And Ella Smith on Monday, if you were locked into this Channel Seed Field, you will remember Ella Smith, the senior headed to Wartburg to play softball, hit a bomb.
260 feet. It was absolutely crushed.
Big healthy cut there by Smith. 1-1 the count. Smith digs in, set to face Carver. Here's the 1-1. This one's popped up. It's going to stay on the infield. Is it playable for Doster at catcher? It is. A one-out single for Carlisle, but Prenisil stranded at first base. We head to the third. This is the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy.
Freedom Tire is proud to support the Iowa Girl through their sponsorship of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union. With 6 locations around the metro, you're never far from getting you back or keeping you on the road. Our certified staff and state-of-the-art technology means you can take comfort knowing you've got the best work at the best prices. Give us a try at Freedom Tire, a proud supporter of the IGHSAU.
Welcome back to the 2026 Girls State Softball Tournament presented by Iowa Farm Bureau. Alongside Addie Wells, I am Brad Wells. A father-daughter combination today here on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy. Addie, I believe they put you here just to make sure I stay in line. So
I got to keep you on track.
9-1-2 here for Fort Dodge. And Meyer looks at one inside. Stella Bowman, a freshman pitcher for Carlisle, gets the start here against Fort Dodge. Melina Meyer, senior right fielder, chops this one right side, and it bounces foul. It did hit Meyer, but Meyer was in foul territory, so this is going to be a foul ball. Is that how you saw it?
Yeah, it's hard to tell from this angle. Umpire kind of blocked our view up here, but I'd also agree. He seemed pretty confident in that call, and I've got to give Blue credit.
Head coach Jim Flaws out to ask a question just to make sure.
It's worth an ask.
Absolutely. Foul ball does make it 1 ball, 1 strike. For Meyer, the senior, in the box facing the freshman in the circle. Here's the 1-1, puts a bunt down, fielded by Smith, and the throw to first, defended beautifully.
Yeah, great coverage from Smith. I feel like we've already said her name multiple times today, and it's not just because she's going to be my teammate at Wartburg in the fall, but she's doing an outstanding job of having Bowman's back in the circle and making these plays, especially against this Dodger offense that's trying to cause some chaos on the field right now.
And both of these teams offensively, that's kind of their MO, is go create some chaos and force the other team defensively to make plays. Hope Allstott is the batter. This is the top of the Fort Dodge Dodgers order. First pitch strike from Bowman. Allstott lined out to Stoner at first base in her first at-bat. That's chopped foul. About this freshman Bowman now up 0-2 with a leadoff batter Allstott.
Yeah, again, like we gave credit to Carver, give credit to Bowman. She's attacking these Dodger hitters. She's working the outside half like we kind of mentioned at the beginning of the broadcast. And she's been effective so far.
Here's the 0-2 changeup, and Allstott did a good job fighting that one off. Fouls it out of play. See Bowman looking down. She's got to watch as teams, I believe it started last year, perhaps 2 years ago. You can use electronic communication from the dugout to the pitcher and catcher.
We've got a lot of different technology here at the state tournament. The pitch comms, the watches, just a traditional wristband or shouting from the dugout. That's my personal favorite, just hearing the coaches shout out random numbers.
Shout out numbers or sometimes flash numbers to the catcher. Catchers will signal it in. You don't see much of that anymore.
Not much anymore. Maybe I like it because it's easy to pick up.
Yep. Here's the 1-2 to Allstott. Allstott hammers it into center field, and Oates heads over to cut it off. So a 1-out single for the leadoff batter, Allstott.
That was a great barrel from Allstott. She crushed that right back up the middle. Allstott actually Oates had to actually come over quite a bit. She was pulled kind of into the right center gap, anticipating something to the oppo field. But she was able to get there and limit her to a single base.
And now she jumps into kind of that left center gap as the defense shifts the other way for the lefty Taryn Rippentrop. Rippentrop with a single in her first at-bat. Bounced one over top of Ellis Smith. On her way down to second is Allstott. It's a stolen base. Fort Dodge with a runner in scoring position.
We've seen it earlier in this state tournament, and we're absolutely going to see it now. Speed kills, and base running might just win games for these two teams that are powered by their offense.
And the power of speed is you come up with a single or a walk. If you have a kid that can steal bases, it's just as good as a double. Rippentrop missing on the bunt attempt.
Again, though, I got to give credit to the scouting that Carlisle had to have done. The movement on the defensive end is looking solid and sound. Everyone knows where they need to be. Base coverage, batter coverage, shifts.
1-1 is way outside. 2-1 to count.
It's like a well-oiled machine out there right now.
Get to the end of a season where you've played more than 30 games over the course of the season.
The chemistry has definitely developed throughout the season, yes.
The chemistry is there. Coaches find what works. Here's the 2-1. That bunt is foul. Fielded nice. Played by Benson. Fielded it in foul territory. Made the throw to first just in case.
Yeah, she had to do kind of a little spin there, but made a great throw despite the foul ball call. Better to be safe than sorry.
Two balls and two strikes now on Rippentrop. Changeup misses upstairs. The count runs full. This Fort Dodge team, they have been known for scoring a ton of runs. They have scored 10 runs or more in 23 different games this season.
They actually average scoring over 10 runs in a game, while Carlisle scores over 7 runs a game. So technically they have the edge there, despite Carlisle being the 2 seed.
Fort Dodge putting up 12 runs in their Monday contest against Clear Creek Amana. But held to just 3 runs in their loss to Carlisle. Carlisle with the 8-3 win on Tuesday. And then holding on for a tight one against North Polk this morning. Fort Dodge, the 2-1 winner. Visit from head coach Jim Flaws there for Carlisle.
And that's kind of the other story of this ball game as well. Fort Dodge scores runs, but Carlisle also limits them. They only average scoring. Their opponents only score less than 2 runs a game, versus Fort Dodge just over 2 runs a game scored against them.
So a timeout taken ahead of a full count pitch. Here from Estella Bowman to Taryn Rippentrop. And it's fouled away by Rippentrop. We'll do it again. Allstott at second base for Fort Dodge. Rippentrop putting together a good quality at-bat here in this third inning. 1 out and a runner aboard. Chopped left side. Freeman fields it, makes the throw in time. And there's 2 away, but Rippentrop advances Allstott over to third. And with a runner 60 feet away, Ellie Doster will come to the plate.
Yeah, that's a big out from Freeman at shortstop. It could have been a little bit difficult getting that ball out quick enough, especially with how high of a bounce it had on it. But she secured the out. And yes, Rippentrop advances 60 feet, but also Carlisle has 2 outs now. They don't necessarily have to worry about the other base runner. They're just trying to get the batter out now. A great job by Freeman at short.
First pitch to Doster, high chopper behind the mound. Freeman, oh, what a scoop by Freeman.
Beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
Carlisle's defense steps up. Some nice plays by Freeman for outs number 2 and 3. We head to the bottom of the third. The Carlisle Wildcats coming to the plate.
At Mid-American Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Something exciting is growing on Iowa farms these days. Innovation. From tractors that seed, weed, and harvest with data-driven precision to drones that scout or plant cover crops to protect soil and water. Even our animals live in smart homes with round-the-clock care. Technology keeps your food safer, water cleaner, and makes us more sustainable. Because what we do here benefits everyone here. Life on the farm makes everyone's life better.
Well, thanks again to the Iowa Farm Bureau for presenting the 2026 Girls State Softball Tournament. As sole title sponsor of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union, Farm Bureau recognizes athletic and academic achievement on the field and in the classroom, helping to nurture Iowa's future leaders. Fort Dodge with a base runner in each inning thus far. We head to the bottom of the third. Carlisle with their only base runner coming in the second inning. So 8-9-1 comes to the plate as Mira Heidemann, junior second baseman, is the batter. Looks at a first pitch ball from Sydney Carver. Carver, the sophomore, in the circle. Coach says she has spin, spin, and spin. Has put in a lot of time this past offseason. Has really taken advantage of the work that she has put in. Gets a ground ball to Wills at third, over to Zimmerman, and there's one away.
And that spin can be so effective in the circle. It can shift exactly how the batter is seeing the ball come out of the pitcher's hand. It can make a fast pitch look a little bit slower or a slower pitch look a little bit harder. Being able to mess with batters' perspective and perception can be huge.
So Rosie Hemstad steps in with one out. And a first pitch strike. Hemstad went 1 for 3 against North Polk, 2 for 3 against Fort Dodge. One and two now on Hemstad. This one's fouled away into the Fort Dodge student section. Young fans are after these foul balls, too. I heard an announcement. You can turn it in for a lollipop at the concession stand.
Enticing.
Swing and a miss. Carver enticed Hemstad with the off-speed pitch. And I guess the first strikeout of the game for Sydney Carver.
Carver's done a phenomenal job limiting this Carlisle offense all the way through the lineup. Only one base runner I'd count that as a win for Carver so far.
Chloe Rowling puts down a bunt, and the speed beats the throw. Excellent play by Carver, but it was not executed quick enough to get the speedy Chloe Rowling.
Again, speed kills. Carver did all she could with that. She charged after the ball and did her best to flip it to Zimmerman there at first. You even tried to take a bit of a tumbly stretch. But Chloe Rowling could not be beat out.
And top 4 in all of Class 4A for batting average and stolen bases. And she leads Class 4A in stolen bases. So with 2 outs and a runner aboard, look for Rowling to try and swipe second base with Anaya Oates. An opportunity to drive Rowling in as Andy Adams into the circle to talk to her infield. Coach Flaws delivers the game plan, and head coach Andy Adams, year number 27 for her 25th year at Fort Dodge High School. Her 800th Fort Dodge win came this year. She's closing in on 900 career wins. How about this? This is her 16th trip to state as a head coach. That is 9th most in state history, and she is the only female coach in the top 10.
Yeah, she is a legend to anyone who has ever played softball in the state of Iowa.
First pitch called strike on Oates. Rowling not trying to take second on that first pitch. Coach Adams still has so much energy, too. You talk to her, she is just competitive and tough. Here's Rowling on her way to second base, in there safely. And so Carlisle with a runner in scoring position. Rowling another stolen base to her season and her state tournament total.
It's a great fire by Doster back behind the plate. You just cannot match up against Rowling.
1 ball, 1 strike. This is slapped into left field and tailing foul, and it does land foul. A long strike for Oates. Carlisle fans wanted to try and put that early run up on the board. And now a time taken by Carlisle head coach Jim Flaws. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count here.
It's definitely a moment with a lot of opportunity for some momentum shift. If Carlisle can push one across here, the first run of the game, that could definitely power a longer run for the Wildcats. Dodgers, if they're able to work out of this 2-out jam, can power their offense at the top of the inning.
I talked about the coaching legend for Fort Dodge, Jim Flaws, quite the coaching legend himself for Carlisle. 1,200-plus career victories, his 40th year at Carlisle, and for Carlisle as a school, their 23rd appearance at state. There's a grounder up the middle, off the glove of Carver. The throw from Allstott is not in time. Infield single for Oates.
Man, that's a tough play for Carver and Hope Allstott to try and tag team there. Something chopped right up the middle. Sometimes those redirections of balls up the middle can either be helpful or it can be kind of negative in trying to make that out.
A little 2-out rally now for Carlisle since we've hit the top of the order. This is Olivia Freeman now. And a delayed steal for Oates as she goes to second base.
She's definitely trying to try to get a throw from Doster down to 2 and hopefully allow Rowling to score, but Doster's not biting.
All eyes locked in on number 28 at third base. Freeman looks at one up in the zone, and that's now 2-0. Carver trying to get out of this without giving up a run. And that one just misses. So 3-0 the count. With 2 runners in scoring position. Carver delivers a strike.
And we've seen her attack the zone all day, covering the circle. And this is the first batter that we're kind of seeing her fall behind, kind of dance around Freeman a little bit in the box.
And that one misses the zone, and that is the first walk of the game. And so a free pass for Freeman will load the bases for Mally Stoner for Carlisle with 2 outs here in the 3rd inning. And Doster calls time herself to have a chat amongst her infield.
Again, still a big moment for both teams here. Carlisle, Mally Stoner is exactly who you want to have up at the plate at this moment. .28 RBIs coming into the state tournament. Looking to add on to that tally. Dodgers 2 outs, trying to work out of this bases loaded jam.
So Carver has nowhere to put Stoner. First pitch is up. You got to be careful, though, with Stoner, the senior. Her batting average on the season, .371, on-base percentage at .472. And that's a called strike, 1-1 the count. You got to hit your spots if you're Carver.
Absolutely. You're trying to attack the zone, trying to get up in the count, but not leaving anything too meaty.
Line drive into left field, and Carlisle is on the board, and they're going to try and play 2, and out at home is Anaya Oates. Chloe Rolling's run does count, as Oates looked like had an excellent slide at home, but Carlisle gets one on the RBI single by Mally Stoner. And we head to the 4th inning. This is the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy.
Yeah, it's a trip when you hit the road. And when you know when you've arrived. It's a trip when you get everything you want. The burger and the fries, the creek and the crick, the city and the countryside. It's a trip when you're where you're meant to be. In this moment, in this bathroom mirror, looking like $1 million. And yeah, it's a trip when it goes by fast. Des Moines. It's a trip. Make it yours.
Excelling in athletics takes teamwork, dedication, and a commitment to excellence. These are the same qualities that help our pig farmers and our communities thrive. The Iowa Pork Producers Association is proud to support statewide high school athletics and the student athletes who make us all proud. Visit iowapork.org/WeCare to meet the people behind the pork and hear about our winning approach to caring for our pigs, the environment, and our communities.
Welcome back to the Iowa Girls State Softball Tournament presented by Iowa Farm Bureau on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy Company. Alongside Addie Wells, I am Brad Wells. Carlisle strikes first as they score a run in the bottom of the 3rd inning on 2 hits and a walk. Mally Stoner delivered the RBI single, and now Fort Dodge in the top of the 4th has 4, 5, 6 coming to the plate. Grace Nichols will lead things off. Grounded out to Freeman at shortstop in her first at-bat. That came as the final out of the 1st inning. Nichols, a sophomore DP. Two balls, no strikes. Nichols, a power hitter Coach Andy Adams says she is dangerous every time she steps into the box. The 2-0, it caught on the elbow guard, I believe, Nichols. And I think Nichols wanted to stay there, and maybe Coach Adams wants her to stay in the batter's box as well. And now Coach Flaw is out to talk to the home plate umpire.
Yeah, generally when batters get hit by a pitch, they start jogging down immediately, and so Jim Flaws is definitely questioning that call since Nichols didn't immediately break for first.
So we're going to have a pinch runner. Looks like number 10, Brooklyn Gilliland, will be the runner.
Pinch runner number 10, Brooklyn Gilliland, running for Nichols at first. Pinch runner. Now batting for the Dodgers, third baseman, Macy Wills.
So Gilliland, just a freshman, comes into the game, 7 stolen bases on the season. She will run for Nichols, and Macy Wills, the batter. First pitch, strike to Wills from Bowman.
If you're Carlisle, that hit by pitch is not exactly how you want to start the top of the inning after being able to push across the first run of the game. But Bowman doing a good job at coming back and attacking the zone against Macy Wills.
That one misses for ball 1. Fort Dodge with a hit in each inning through the first 3 innings. And a base runner in each inning now through the 4th. Here's the 1-1 to Wills. Changeup stays outside.
It looks like it's kind of tailing off a little bit earlier than I'm sure Bowman would like. At off speed, in order to sell it, it's got to still have some velocity and able to work through Benson behind the dish.
Rise ball misses up. 3-1 now the count. Nobody out here in the 4th inning. Fort Dodge with the leadoff batter aboard. Nichols got hit by a pitch. Gilliland is the runner. And Wills is the batter. And the 3-1 gets fouled back. Wills showed the bunt. Wills is a triple threat hitter. She can bunt, she can slap, and hit for power. And Coach Adams says she is clutch under pressure as well.
Yeah, it's difficult to defend against this Dodger offense. You see them showing bunt pretty often, and not always are they bunting. Sometimes they pull it back and try to slap it through. Sometimes they do their full swing and they just use it as a timing mechanism. Sometimes it's hard to anticipate what they're actually going to do.
And that is ball 4, and now there are 2 runners aboard here for Fort Dodge, and Coach Flaws is going to make a change and likely flip-flop Bowman and Stoner at pitcher and first to bring in Mally Stoner, the Iowa State recruit, to come in to pitch. And so all substitutions through the state tournament are brought to you by IMT Insurance. Learn how you can be worry-free with IMT at imtins.com. So Mally Stoner, the senior pitcher. Addie, she comes in with a 121 earned run average, 138 innings pitched before the state tournament, 121 strikeouts to just 6 walks during the regular season and regional play.
And her first outing here at the 2026 state tournament against North Polk, she limited their offense to only 4 hits, had 4 strikeouts on the day. But against Fort Dodge yesterday, she did give up 9 hits with only 3 strikeouts and 3 earned runs. So the Dodgers, familiar seeing Stoner in the circle. They'll definitely be looking to take advantage of that early on. But Stoner hopefully will settle in and help her Carlisle defense out.
First pitch is hit, and Freeman looking for obstruction with the runner, and scoring from second is Gilliland. And so the first pitch from Stoner is hit up the middle into left center field. RBI by Zimmerman. That ties us up at 1.
That's exactly what the Dodgers needed in this moment. Nothing, it wasn't a crazy powerful hit, but it did the job. It put pressure on the defense, and especially with base runners on, it causes chaos.
Now Emerson Lara, the batter, shows bunt, pulls it back, but it's a called strike. So Zimmerman with the first hit of this inning. It's now a hit in each inning for Fort Dodge. Again, a team that scores runs this season. Leading 4A in runs, RBIs, total bases, hits, and slugging percentage. Pitch just outside. 1-2 the count. And that one gets away from Benson, and both runners will advance. Zimmerman down to second. Wills now stands at third base. And nobody out here in the top of the 4th inning.
The momentum definitely seems to be rolling in favor of the Dodgers at this moment. Advancing bases, knocking runs in.
Count runs full, and the Fort Dodge student section in full force here on this Wednesday afternoon. That's chopped foul. Lara, nice job to stay alive. Kind of a late decision to swing.
A bit of a defensive swing there. Unsure if that one would have been called a strike, but great job staying alive.
Here's the 3-2. Line drive into center field, and unable to make the catch is Oates. 1 run is in, and being held at third is Zimmerman. But Wills scores on the hit by Lara. Will go down as an error.
Wills scores. Zimmerman to third. That'll bring up left fielder Meg Marsh.
And he'll mark that down as a hit. Running attempt in center field by Oates. Hitter in the glove, unable to make the catch, but they'll mark it as a single.
Yeah, that's a tough play for Oates to make out in center. She was, again, shifted a little bit to the right center gap. She kind of had to turn over her right shoulder there. It seemed like she was there, made the play. Just hit the wrong part of the glove.
Offensive timeout taken by Fort Dodge head coach Andy Adams. Talks things through here. And Addy, how about this in the top of the fourth? A hit by pitch got it started. Then a base on balls. That's Nichols and Wills. And then an RBI single by Zimmerman. RBI single by Lara. And there's nobody out. And runners on the corners here for Fort Dodge.
Yeah, what a sequence this has been. Again, this goes to show sometimes the significance of those free bases, the walk, the hit by pitch. And those were the 2 runs that ended up scoring in this inning. It's just some tiny things that you've got to keep clean as a defense.
For Fort Dodge, Meg Marsh is the batter now. Marsh had a single to right field in her first at-bat. That was back in the second inning. Shows bunt, pulls back, called strike. How about the leaping grab by Ellis Smith at third to keep that one from going into the corner and scoring a run?
Yeah, what a save. Lara was able to steal second on that, but Smith prevented Zimmerman from sneaking in for another run.
There's the 0-1, the bunt to the right side. It's going to score a run. The flip to first is made by Heidemann. Nice play in the second baseman position. But an RBI sac bunt for Marsh. And Fort Dodge with a 3-1 lead.
And only 1 out in the top of the fourth.
That's just 1 out. Melina Meyer now comes to the plate with Lara at third. Opportunity to continue to build on this Fort Dodge lead. Pitch for Meyer, or to Meyer, misses up. Meyer, a 3-year starter in the outfield. A kid that Coach Adams says just knows her role is a fantastic leader that allows her teammates to rise up. She's a captain on this Dodgers team. Looks at a strike, 1-1 to count.
And as the 9-hole hitter, sometimes that extra leadership in that spot is also beneficial for the offense.
Swing and a miss for strike 2. Stoner trying to pitch Carlisle out of this fourth inning. Just 1 out here. Fort Dodge still threatening. Emerson Lara at third base. That one misses outside, 2-2. The count.
Yeah, many fans sitting back behind the plate are maybe disagreeing a little bit with the umpire's calls back there. I think yesterday in the Carlisle-Fort Dodge matchup, there was a little bit of a wider zone, and that's something you have to consider at the state tournament. As umpires are rotating nearly every game, heat, perspective, it all affects exactly what the calls are.
And they do bring the best graded umpires to the state tournament here in Fort Dodge for this week of softball, as they have had a big workload. There is strike 3, and that's the first punch out for the Carlisle pitching staff, and it comes from Mally Stoner.
Strike stop number 2, top of the order for the Dodgers, shortstop, Allstop.
That's finally the groove Mally Stoner wants to find in the circle. Limiting the runs that the Dodgers are able to push across the board and giving her defense some confidence before they come back up to the plate.
This is Hope Allstott for Fort Dodge, the leadoff batter. We'll check with the first base umpire. No swing for ball 1. Stoner misses outside. Allstott 1 for 2. Had a single up the middle in the third inning. And a line out to Stoner in the first when Stoner was at first base. And that one misses low. 2 balls, no strikes.
Yeah, Stoner, similar to what Bowman was trying to do when she started this game, is trying to work out, low, away, stay out of the enticing zone as for the Dodger power hitters.
Line drive up the middle, bring another run in for Fort Dodge, and Allstott around first as a stand-up RBI double here in the fourth.
And the Dodgers are on their feet. The fans, the players, the coaches. Everyone's fired up for this rally that the Dodgers are piecing together in the fourth inning.
4 runs. It all started with a hit batsman and a base on balls, and now Allstott's double is the third hit of the inning. And extra base hits in today's game are brought to you by Channel Seeds. The enhanced Channel Seed brand is here to help farmers like you up your game and rise to the challenge. Learn more at channel.com/rise. And Class 4A action here on Channel Seed Field all week long. And all the state championship games will be here on Channel Seed Field. Taryn Rippentrop, the batter. Rippentrop is 1 for 2. She's put it in play both at bats. And a hard hit ball to Heidemann, who fields the grounder and flips to 1. But Fort Dodge, with 4 runs on 3 hits, take a 4-1 lead as we head to the bottom of the fourth. Carlisle, an opportunity to answer.
At MidAmerican Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. MidAmerican Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Looks like another perfect day to get out there and enjoy the summer.
Before she gets in the car, it's easy to choose.
Iowa State Fair, August 13th through the 23rd.
Fort Dodge responded to Carlisle's run in the bottom of the third inning. 4 runs in the top of the fourth, and now Carlisle will have an opportunity to try and get an inning going. They had a nice 2-out rally last time in the bottom of the third, Addison. They got to the top of the order, and a pair of singles, a walk, and then RBI single, but a play at the plate defensively by Fort Dodge got them out of that inning.
Yeah, and who better to have up to the plate than Claire Benson, who actually was the Wildcats' first hit of today.
To bat the bottom of the fourth, catcher Claire Benson.
Benson had a grounder through the left side of the infield. That was a 1-out single in the second inning. Benson 0 for 2 against Fort Dodge yesterday, but the hit today coming against Carver. Here's a hit up into center field. It will drop for a base hit. Benson 2 for 2. And so a leadoff single for Carlisle here in the fourth.
That's exactly how you've got to respond after just giving up 4 runs in the last inning. Leadoff hitter on again. I mentioned this a little bit earlier, but Carlisle yesterday scored in every inning that their leadoff batter got on. And though they were able to push one across today with 2 outs, they'll want every advantage they can get in this 3-run deficit.
And this is the first inning in this contest where they do have the leadoff runner aboard. And so the courtesy runner, Chloe Prenisil, out to run. So Estella Bowman, the batter, shows bunt, pulls back. It's a called strike. That pitch missing outside. 1-1. Addison, the first couple innings we saw batters being so patient. Down 3 runs if you're Carlisle. Do you continue that same approach?
I would. It's tempting to want to press a little bit, to attack a little bit, try and get some momentum rolling quickly. But again, not all good hits come off of just the first pitch strikes. You've got to stay disciplined to the pitch that you know you can hit well and do damage to. And Carlisle's got to continue sticking to their game plan here to find success.
Called strike to push the count to 2-2. Prenisil at first. A leadoff single by Claire Benson. As Carlisle trying to get something cooking here. Line drive and just foul for Bowman. Stella Bowman sat on that changeup and put a good, healthy contact.
Yeah, that's the exact approach I was just talking about, finding something that she can do damage to. She tattooed that thing. It was just right to the left of the left field foul line.
There's the 2-2 grounder to the shortstop. Allstott, the flip to Lara over to first is not in time.
Prenisil out at second in the fourth. Bowman to first on the fielder's choice. 1 out.
So Bowman at first base now, and Ella Smith will be the batter. 1 out here in the fourth. Ella Smith in her early high school career had 2 torn ACLs, fought back and did an excellent job recovering, and has really excelled at both basketball and softball. Is at the state tournament with the basketball team this year.
That's a tough injury to overcome physically and mentally, so credit to her.
Two balls, 1 strike to count now on Ella Smith. Ella Smith, also a winner of the Gene Kling Memorial Scholarship. That is a legendary basketball coach from Northeast Iowa. So 3-1 now the count. And Smith will have an opportunity to look for her pitch here. Sydney Carver in the circle. This is up and out and puts Smith on, and that advances Bowman to second base.
That was a great patient at bat from Ella Smith. Again, you asked, do you stay patient? Do you press? Do you want to go attack a pitch? Carlisle is staying within themselves, only looking for what they know they can do damage to. And again, we've seen these free bases pay off for the Dodgers. Carlisle looking to do the same here.
Head coach Jim Flaws is going to bring in a pinch hitter here, as it looks like Kaylee Janes, the junior, number 35, is going to get a pinch hit opportunity here for Mira Heidemann's spot.
Substitution for the Wildcats, number 35, Kaylee James.
So Kaylee James
Hitting for Heidemann.
hitting .333 on the season. All substitutions are brought to you by IMT Insurance, and so a pinch hitter here for Carlisle. James in to hit for Heidemann. 2 runners on here, 1 out in the 4th. And a first pitch strike on James from Carver.
As a pinch hitter in this situation, you're definitely looking for something that you can do damage to. Ideally, drive it to the right side with runners on, allow those runners to at least advance, but hopefully score at home.
Coach Flaws calls time, wants to talk things over. Carlisle head coach Jim Flaws, a retired teacher, middle school social studies teacher. Now softball is his only job, and says he loves it. He keeps telling himself, if I can keep motivating and relating to the players, I will keep coaching. He says he relates a lot to teenagers. I was talking to a couple of Carlisle players on a Monday, and they kind of smiled. They're like, it's a lot of classic rock at the practices if he's running the music. But Coach Floss says he's down for whatever type of music. Hard hit ball to Wills, just a laser, steps on third, gets the force, and safe at first. Fort Dodge thought they had a double play. That was bang, bang over there at first base.
Yeah, there's no better way to describe it. That was an amazing stop by Wills at third. Great, quick thinking. Get the force out at 3 and fire it over to 1. That could have gone either way. But a great job by the pinch hitter, James, as well, for coming in and tattooing something hard for the defense to handle.
First pitch swinging, fielded by Allstott at short, and Fort Dodge gets out of the bottom of the 4th inning after the first 2 runners get aboard for Carlisle. 4-1 is our score. We head to the 5th inning. This is the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy.
Excuse me, man. You dropped this.
Welcome back to the Iowa Girls State Softball Tournament presented by Iowa Farm Bureau on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy Company. We begin the 5th inning. Fort Dodge coming back to the plate after scoring 4 runs on 3 hits in the 4th inning. And the first pitch, hard chopper. Freeman handles it nicely at short. And the throw over to Bowman is in time. 1 pitch, 1 out for Mally Stoner.
Now, Carlisle has handled Doster well throughout this game. She's 0 for 3. But Doster normally definitely one of the top threats of this Dodger lineup. Broke her school's single-season RBI record this year. Had 71 going into the state tournament.
Grace Nichols powers 1 foul.
Nichols was hit by a pitch in her last at-bat that powered the Fort Dodge. And a little bit of a accidental collision. Benson was trying to throw the ball back to Stoner in the circle, and it clipped Nichols' bat. Nichols kind of took a little bit of offense to it.
Surprised her for sure. No balls, 2 strikes the count, though, on Nichols. Stoner facing Nichols for the first time. And this is grounded into right field. And the throw made to first by Chloe Rolling. And Nichols able to beat it out. That's a 1-out single here in the 5th.
That's exactly what you need to do in that situation. A great thought by Rolling to come up firing to Bowman at first. Nichols hit that hard enough that it was a close play, but she was able to beat it out.
So Gilliland in to run for Nichols at first. And Macy Wills, the batter for Fort Dodge. First pitch outside for ball 1. For Wills, drew a walk, scored a run in the 4th inning. Trying to put the bunt down, and it rolls foul.
We've seen many bunt attempts from both sides of the ball field here. Not too many have been entirely successful. I think hitters are starting to keep the bat behind the plate a little bit too much, trying to get a little too sneaky with it.
Macy Wills is the 3rd Wills sister to play for Coach Adams, and this gets past Stoner. Freeman, the throw over to first. It is dropped by Bowman. The throw to third. Not in time. Safe at third is Gilliland. So Wills over to first, and an error on the throw from the shortstop Freeman down in the dirt. And now with 1 out, Fort Dodge runners on the corners for Kelly Zimmerman. And Zimmerman 2 for 2.
Yeah, that was a great thought by Freeman there. She saw the bit of a high chopper. Knew that Gilliland would be at second already, trying to make the quick throw to get Wills at first, but just wasn't able to set her feet enough to make a solid throw to Bowman.
First pitch, chopped to the second baseman, and Heidemann goes to first to get the out, and that drives a run in as Gilliland scores from third. So there's 2 away now. Wills advances to second base, and now Emerson Lara will come up. She had an RBI single in the 4th inning for Fort Dodge. She scored Wills in the 4th inning and has an opportunity to do the same. And a line drive into center field an inning ago, and a line drive to first back in the 2nd inning. Emerson Lara at the plate. First pitch down in the zone, and Emerson has had quite the year. Her dad passed away unexpectedly this year, Matt Lara. The team has a banner that they hang where he stood just outside of the dugout for the past 8 years watching his daughters play Fort Dodge softball. Lydia, a 2023 grad, and Emerson, this freshman, providing an impact for Fort Dodge. RBI single and scored a run last inning, comes up with 2 outs here in the 5th. Here's the 2-0. This is hit into center field. That's going to get down for a base hit in front of Oates. It'll be another RBI single for Emerson Lara.
The momentum that the Dodgers have in this moment, they have snatched it and they are running as far as they possibly can with it right now. It wasn't a hard hit ball. Stoner did a good job of producing weaker contact off of Lara. Pitcher a little bit higher in the zone, off her handle a little bit, but Lara just muscled it enough to knock another run in.
Emerson Lara, someone that Coach said is just so stoic. She shows no emotion, just does the job. Typically that number 9 hitter and in the 7 spot here today for this Dodgers team. And so we'll have another defensive change as we will have Estella Bowman and Mally Stoner once again flip spots, and all substitutions and pitching changes are brought to you by IMT Insurance. Learn how you can be worry-free with IMT at imtins.com. Alongside Addie Wells, I am Brad Wells, a father-daughter combo on the microphones for you today with this Iowa Girls Digital Network broadcast powered by Mid-American Energy. Addie, so many times you get to the state tournament and you start to see, a senior class. Oh, let's get our pictures from when they started playing 10U ball or 11U ball. You still got memories from those early days of playing softball, or those first days of even the City League when you get started?
The memories get a little bit fuzzy, but there are definitely moments, car rides, practices, little tiny moments in time that stick with you forever.
Meg Marsh, the batter for Fort Dodge. That ball down in the dirt, and taking advantage is Lara. She's going to advance down to second base on the wild pitch from Bowman. And now with Fort Dodge holding a 5-1 lead, you start to think about the possibilities of today. Carlisle, obviously, if they come back and win, they punch their spot into the state championship game. If Fort Dodge holds on to win, we will come back and have a winner-take-all game at 7:15 for the right to play ADM, who defeated Western Dubuque and has locked up their spot in that championship game, going a perfect 3-0 through the first 3 days.
Yeah, the intricacies of the new double elimination format is definitely keeping me on the edge of my seat, at least. I'm not quite sure how all of this is going to play out. But more softball, the better, in my opinion.
Coach is starting to think about pitching changes, who's seen who win. Freeman with contact, and we're going to have interference on the base runner. And so that's how the inning's going to end, and head coach Andy Adams wants to have a discussion. And so I believe since there was contact with Freeman, Lara, the runner at second, will be called out. That was the call on the field.
That was, and Coach Adams is wanting a change in the call since the third base umpire wasn't the one to make that call. It was actually the umpire behind second base.
I operate with 3-person crews here at the state tournament. And they're going to stick with the out call, and that will end this 5th inning. Fort Dodge gets 2 runs on just 1 hit and an error. 2 hits and an error. We'll step aside. We will come back. More on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy.
Life's buzzing with energy. From the delightfully routine, to the novel and exciting, to the truly uncharted. With all that life brings, it's easy to lose track of what powers all those moments, our health. At Mercy One, our caring doctors focus on just that, powering health, from the everyday to the extraordinary. So you're ready for what life brings next. Find care at mercyone.org/healthpowerslife.
Something exciting is growing on Iowa farms these days. Innovation. From tractors that seed, weed, and harvest with data-driven precision to drones that scout or plant cover crops to protect soil and water. Even our animals live in smart homes with round-the-clock care. Technology keeps your food safer, water cleaner, and makes us more sustainable. Because what we do here benefits everyone here. Life on the farm makes everyone's life better.
6-1 is our score. Fort Dodge with the lead over Carlisle. They added 2 runs in the top of the 5th inning, and the Wildcats will have an opportunity to answer back here in the 5th as they have the top of the order coming to the plate. Chloe Rowling, the sophomore right fielder, will try and get on base and start some chaos. She's 1 for 2 today, had a single in the 3rd. Chloe Rowling has a mom and an aunt that both played softball at Newell Fonda High School. The Daniel sisters. There's the 1-1. If I remember right, that would have been my era, Eddie. I don't think they quite had the speed that Chloe Rowling shows. She is on another level as most players that are playing in the state of Iowa.
Well, especially Class of 4A. It's a slightly different ball game than Class 1A. Again, credit to all of those teams in 1A who have punched their ticket to the 2026 state tournament. But
rip into center field, and underneath it to make the catch is Rippentrop.
Retiring Rowling is definitely big for Fort Dodge. She gets on base. Her speed kills. That's a big out for the Dodgers.
So Anaya Oates is the batter. Line drive to center field in her first at-bat. Reached in the 3rd and was thrown out at home to end the 3rd inning. Oates had 1 of 3 hits in the 3rd inning. And the 2-0 in there for a strike. Chopper up the middle, over top of Carver. And Anaya Oates with a 1-out single to get it started here in the 5th inning for Carlisle.
Anaya Oates also a threat on the base paths. Had 15 stolen bases coming into the state tournament. She almost was able to score in that 3rd inning, but was the runner thrown out at home by Martian left field. But she'll be looking to cause some chaos on the bases now.
So Freeman looks at the 0-1. That's a line drive into center field. This is going to get all the way to the fence. Around second, headed to third. Oates is held at third. And Freeman with a double on a laser up the middle, and back-to-back hits for Carlisle. Shows some life.
Wise base coaching from Flaws there at third base. He was almost going to send Oates home. And then Rippentrop got that in so quickly to Allstott at second. Oates was held up. It's nice to see coaches learning throughout the game as well, though. Oates got thrown out in the third inning, so he's going to have some trust in his hitters to move her across a little bit more naturally.
And just one out here in the fifth, and a mound visit for Andy Adams. And assistant coach Brianna Drees out there as well, the pitching coach that does some scouts. Is the athletic trainer at Fort Dodge High School for the past 15 years. Coach Drees played at Webster City from 2001 to 2005. Andy Adams played for Webster City, played in the state tournament in 1994. The head coach went on to Buena Vista University. Two-time All-American, a BVU Hall of Famer, academic All-American for the head coach, Andy Adams. And so a couple Webster City connections here with this Fort Dodge softball team. But Mally Stoner, 1 for 2, digs in, shows bunt, pulls it back, and it gets away from Doster, and in to score is Oates.
You don't see that from Doster often, but a great job by Oates of taking advantage of that passed ball. And Carlisle is clawing their way back.
Cuts the lead down to 4, and Freeman advances to third base. Stoner called strike. Count is 1-1. Here's the 1-1. Stoner out to left field. Here's the tag by Freeman, and Freeman slides in safely. A sac fly RBI by Mally Stoner.
Ball cut in left field by Marsh.
It does the job.
Freeman tags and scores.
Great read by Freeman. It was even a little shallow in left field there. Great job by Marsh to come in and snag that from touching the grass. But the speed in the top of this Carlisle lineup just cannot compare.
Eddie, how big are those two runs here in this bottom of the fifth inning? Instead of being down 5 runs, you're down just 3.
Again, it's just tagging them on one by one, being able to respond, shift some of that momentum back to Carlisle. That's going to give Stoner a lot more confidence going back in the circle too, in the top of the 6th.
Claire Benson, the batter, trying to get on and get another 2-out rally going for Carlisle. Back in the third. They had 4 batters in a row after we got to 2 outs that all got on base when Carlisle scored their first run of the game. 2-1. This is ripped down the left field line, but turns foul and out of play. There's a pop fly right side of the infield. Emerson Lara is underneath it for Fort Dodge. And we head to the 6th inning. As both teams score 2 in the 5th, it's 3-run difference, 6-3 here on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy.
SWIC is a community. Southwestern Community College is a place in rural southwest Iowa where students from across the world come to be a part of a tight-knit family, Spartan Nation, where they study, train, grow, thrive, and are called by name, not by number. At SWIC, we are one.
The Carlisle Wildcats and the Fort Dodge Dodgers battling here at the Iowa Girls State Softball Tournament. Well, Farm Bureau knows that strong, vibrant schools are the cornerstone of our communities. That's why they're proud to be the title sponsor of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union and this amazing Girls State Softball Tournament. They believe that by investing in our youth, we are investing in Iowa's future. So your game reset. Carlisle scored a run in the bottom of the third inning. In the top of the fourth, Fort Dodge responded in a big way with 4 runs on 3 hits, walked batter and a hit batsman. And then Fort Dodge added 2 runs in the top of the 5th inning, and Carlisle has responded now with 2 runs in the bottom of the 5th. So to the 6th inning we go. 9-1-2 coming for Fort Dodge. Melina Meyer is the batter, 0 for 2 today with a ground out and a strikeout. And Stella Bowman wants a new softball. So Meyer, the senior right fielder, batting in the 9 spot here today. A 3-year starter in the outfield. Is often in that flex position, but batting here in this battle against Carlisle. And a ground out to Bowman, who makes the throw over to Stoner for out number 1.
Bowman with the toss to first for out number 1.
Bowman faced just one batter in the top of the 5th when she came in for Stoner after the Dodgers plated 2 more runs. So it's nice to see her settling back in pretty quickly, especially after her offense put up some runs for her.
Hope Allstott looks at strike 1. Allstott 2 for 3. A single in the 3rd inning and an RBI double in the 4th. That was part of a 4-run inning for Fort Dodge. And about 3 for 4, another single for Hope Allstott.
Allstott with a base hit to left, puts her safely at first. Going to bring up center fielder Karen Rippentrop.
Great job punching that through the 5-6 hole.
So 1-out single for Allstott. Does her job, and Taryn Rippentrop will come to the plate. 1 for 3 for Rippentrop. She was stranded at 3rd in the 1st inning. And that is a ball. Rippentrop, see that batting average, 485. Oh, and taking off for second base. There's a stolen base for Allstott. Allstott is dangerous. Has not been caught stealing this season. 25 for 25. Had a stolen base against Clear Creek Amana. Now gets into scoring position with just 1 out. That opens up a few more options here for Taryn Rippentrop, the senior center fielder. Rippentrop headed to Indian Hills, shows bunt, and pulls back and looks at a strike. Looked like she was almost looking to slap that one into play after she pulled back.
Again, keeping this Carlisle defense on their toes. Not quite sure if she's going to go for the bunt. Going to pull back and slap something through. It's hard to defend.
There's the 2-1. Popped up left field. Eganor underneath it and makes the catch. And there's 2 away.
Great job by Eganor out in there in left field. And a great job by Bowman coming back and producing that out after giving up a hit, limiting the back-to-backs. It's going to keep the momentum at bay.
That brings us to Ellie Doster. Doster 0 for 3. The number 3 hitter in the lineup here for Fort Dodge.
Oh for 3, but still not one to take lightly. A dangerous hitter in the lineup. School record for RBIs in a season.
It's an opportunity to add a little cushion to this 3-run lead for the Dodgers. Here's the 1-0. Down in the dirt, 2 balls in, no strikes. I think you see the respect from Carlisle. Even though she's 0 for 3, you know you got to be careful with her still.
Yeah, you can't pitch directly at her. You do have to work more carefully around the zone to a big hitter like her.
There's a 2-0. Bowman, the freshman. Change up, and it's hit foul out of play by Doster for strike 1. Now Estella Bowman in the circle. She's had a good season. 7-0 in conference play for the Wildcats. The starter was replaced by Stoner, now back in the circle here for Carlisle. Here's the 2-1. And outside, a good hold by Doster, and it will be 3-1.
Fans still rowdy here at Channel Seeds Field. Carlisle, a bit of their own student section as well, but the Dodger student section been staying busy.
And that is ball 4. That will get the Fort Dodge student section a little more excited. Now 2 runners on for the Dodgers, and Gilliland, the hitter. And so Gilliland, I believe, re-entered last time for Nichols. So Nichols may be done for the day. So Gilliland in to hit. Each player gets 1 re-entry back into the lineup. And so Gilliland checked in to run in the 4th and then again in the 5th inning. And so she will be in this number 4 spot. And 2 balls, no strikes on Gilliland. For Gilliland, hitting just 167 on the season, and a timeout taken by head coach Jim Flaws.
Now Bowman maybe a little bit rattled out there in the circle right now. Got 2 runners on base. Again, the momentum is definitely shifted back towards the Dodgers side at this point. A 3-run lead, runner in scoring position. Flaws just maybe having a word with her, reminding her that they're here for as much of a reason as the Dodgers are, and she's in the circle for a reason as well.
So the count is 2 balls, no strikes. There are 2 outs here, but 2 on for Fort Dodge. So Brooklyn Gilliland, and she swings at strike 1. For Flaws, it may have been, hey, here's our approach on Gilliland.
Yeah, Carlisle definitely would rather face Gilliland than Nichols in this situation, and they don't really want to get Wills back up.
There's a grounder to Stoner at first, and that will end the 6th inning. So a hit and a walk for Fort Dodge, but no runs. As we head to the bottom of the 6th, you are watching the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy.
Ready? Let's go.
Mom, over here. Yeah, this kind of thing can happen when you're hiking, but no worries, Mom. I can prescribe something to soothe the itch.
Unity Point Health looks at your family's health from your point of view, offering same-day appointments with expertise focused on what matters most to you. Unity Point Health, expert care focused on you.
6-3 here in the 6th inning. As you're watching the Iowa Girls State Softball Tournament presented by Iowa Farm Bureau here on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy Company. Alongside Addie Wells, I am Brad Wells. And we have 17 hits between the two teams. Fort Dodge with 6 runs on 10 hits, and Carlisle with 3 runs on 7 hits. Scoreless through the first 2.5 innings of play. Carlisle the first to strike, but then Fort Dodge had a big inning with 4 runs in the 4th inning. But Carlisle, Addie, continues to show that fight, and you can see it up and down the lineup for both teams. They have that ability to score runs no matter where you're at in the order.
Yeah, neither of these teams are going to let up no matter what point in the game we're at, and neither of them are going to back off of trying to push more runs across as well. Both of these teams are aggressive offensively and pretty sound defensively as well. So it's going to be a dogfight until the end for sure.
6, 7, 8 in the batting order for the Carlisle Wildcats. Estella Bowman, the starting pitcher and now pitcher of record once again. We'll get us started here in the 6th. Popped out to right field in the 2nd inning and reached on a fielder's choice in the 4th. She has put it in play. Both trips to the plate. First pitch strike for the Fort Dodge starter, Sydney Carver.
Carver again, not necessarily Fort Dodge's ace pitcher, but she got the start against Carlisle today and has done an outstanding job limiting this Carlisle offense. But again, maybe part of that double elimination strategy if Fort Dodge stays ahead and claims the victory in this game. We will see you all again at 7:15. Perhaps Aubrey Allstott get the start in that game.
Yeah, Aubrey Allstott pitched not quite twice as many innings as Carver, but close to it. And both have an excellent line in terms of earned run average, under 3 for Carver, and a nice play by Lara to get to that ball and keep it in the infield. But the hustle by Bowman, that will go down as an infield single.
Yeah, that was a great stop by Lara at second base, putting the body on the line, something up the middle that potentially, if it gets through the gap, that could be extra bases. So great job limiting Bowman to just 1, but Carlisle has a base runner.
So 18, Ella Smith now the batter, as Olivia Peterson is the courtesy runner at first base. And Ella Smith right now jumping into that left-handed batter's box here for the Wildcats. And that's a called strike on Smith, and now Smith will return to the right-handed batter's box. And misses up high.
Takes some special skill to be able to work from both sides of the batter's box at such a high level of ability. Benefits of that left-hand batter's box, it's a kind of obstruct the view that the catcher has of the runner at first. Not as clear of a shot if they were trying to backpick the runner or throw down on a steal attempt. But Ella has power from the right-hand batter's box as well.
Since she has gotten into that right-handed batter's box, 3 straight balls from Sydney Carver. And now 3-1, a favorable count here for Ella Smith. And that one misses the zone, and that is a base on balls for Ella Smith, the future Wartburg Knight softball player, and it puts 2 aboard for Carlisle, advancing Peterson to second and Smith at first.
And I love her excitement after drawing that walk. She knows how important those free bases are, how those can change the game. And now Carlisle's tying run will step into the batter's box. Some chirping back from the Carlisle student section now as the momentum starts to teeter back towards the Wildcats.
Well, this Carlisle Wildcats team, the 2024 title team, has 10 players on this team. 8 of them are starters. There's 5 seniors this year for Carlisle, 7 returning starters from last year. And their team motto, no excuses. Stay humble, stay level. And down 3 runs in the bottom of the 6th inning, that's the mentality you got to have, isn't it?
And that's what we've seen exactly from them. They've stayed humble. They've continued to play their game. They're not going to get cocky and try and do too little or too much. They're going to stick to what they know, and they're going to do it well. And slowly but surely, they've started to work their way back. And they're definitely not out of this ball game yet.
And so you see in the circle now for Fort Dodge, you see Aubrey Allstott now coming in to relieve Sydney Carver. And so here in the 6th inning, a 3-run lead, a save opportunity here for Allstott. Kind of Fort Dodge recognizing the importance of this moment too, and especially with the first 2 runners aboard here in the 6th. They have got to be as clean as possible, and if you're Carlisle, see if you can continue to create chaos.
Yeah, if you're Carlisle, you definitely want to push these runs across now so that you get to the top of the 7th and try to hold Fort Dodge, potentially win and avoid that if necessary game. But Fort Dodge doing everything in their power to get themselves to that if necessary game after already earning a loss yesterday against Carlisle.
So the crowd comes to life as Aubrey Allstott is ready to settle in. And her game against Carlisle, 5 1/3 innings, 8 runs. She gave up 7 of them earned on 8 hits, 1 walk, and 3 strikeouts. See if she can come in and close things out here and force a second game between these 2 teams this evening. Mira Heidemann is the batter. First pitch pulls back. That's a called strike for Allstott. Aubrey Allstott, the sophomore. Coach Adams says she's one of the best fielding pitchers that we have had. Here's a grounder. Oh, she snags one and flips it to third to get the out. Gets the lead runner, and there's 1 away.
Showing off that glove right as you mentioned how solid she is as a fielder. Again, that close to the plate, it's pretty instinctive to just try and reach out and knock down anything you possibly can up the middle. But a great job of going to third, especially the ball that Heinemann hit, taking her that way.
So now Rosie Hempstead is the batter. First pitch shows bunt, pulls back for a called strike one. Coach Flaw says Rosie Hempstead always puts everyone before herself. Swing and a miss, strike two. He says he loves watching her succeed because of that unselfishness. Here's the 0-2 to Hempstead. Changeup hit high and deep into right field. Back goes Meyer and makes the catch. And back to second goes Ella Smith. A deep hit, but that's 2 outs and nobody advances. And we go to the top of the order for Chloe Rowling.
And that's a tough break for Carlisle right there. That was well struck. It's a little bit too high. Gave Meyer plenty of enough time to get under it and secure the out. Smith and Heidemann not tagging since it was technically force outs had it been dropped.
A swing and a miss for strike one. Chloe Rowling is 1 for 3 today. Reached in the third inning and scored a run. Now trying to keep the rally alive and potentially drive one in. The throw down to second. Smith back in time. Doster keeping an eye on all base runners here. So a strike, so no balls, 2 strikes on Rowling. That one runs high, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's a hit into center field. Underneath it is Rippin' Troppin'. Fort Dodge gets out of the jam. Carlisle with the first 2 runners on, but no runs in the 6th for the Wildcats. A 3-run lead for Fort Dodge. We head to the 7th. This is the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy.
At Mid-American Energy, we're one company serving 1.6 million people who all need energy that's available 24/7. That's why we work 24/7. That's why we make investments in our systems that make us more resilient to extreme weather. That's why we generate power from all available resources to cover the variables in supply and demand. And that's why when the power is knocked out, we work around the clock to restore power to you. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Welcome back to the Iowa Girls State Softball Tournament. Thanks again to the Iowa Farm Bureau for presenting the 2026 Girls State Softball Tournament as sole title sponsor of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union. Farm Bureau recognizes athletic and academic achievement on the field and in the classroom, helping nurture Iowa's future leaders. Some excellent future leaders on the field in this 4A battle between Fort Dodge and Carlisle. This is the bottom half of the 4A bracket. ADM winning the top half. They are in the 4A championship game. And with the new double elimination format, Carlisle, who's 2-0 this week, if they could rally and win in the 7th, they would advance to face ADM. If Fort Dodge wins, they are 2-1 so far this week. If they win, they have to come back and play this Carlisle team tonight at 7:15. We will have a rematch of this game with that double elimination format, as this would be Carlisle's first loss of the week. This is fouled away and out of play as Macy Wills leads off the top of the 7th. Wills has scored 2 runs. She walked and reached on an error in the 2 innings when Fort Dodge did their damage. 4 runs in the 4th, 2 runs in the 5th. One to Wills down in the dirt. 2-1. It's a hard hit ball. That is off the glove of Freeman and into center field. And the leadoff batter, Macy Wills, is aboard for Fort Dodge.
That's how you lead things off in the top of the 7th inning. You've got a 3-run lead. You're definitely looking to push an insurance run across or two. This Carlisle offense is not to be taken lightly, but remain patient, remain disciplined to what you know how to do.
That's the first hit in the game for Macy Wills. Callie Zimmerman is now the batter. Zimmerman 2 for 3 and has 2 RBIs. Shows bunt, pulls back. Misses outside. Zimmerman's the type of kid that you want on your team. Head coach Andy Adams says she is a fearless leader. She's the voice on the field, and she calls her a dog. Hits a ground ball hard, and Stoner able to keep it in the infield, but it bounced off the glove, up into her chin, and then into foul territory, and Zimmerman is safe at first.
That will go down as an error. First baseman Stoner. Tough play to make, but one that you need to have in this moment.
So the second error committed by the Carlisle defense comes here in the 7th inning, and just as Carlisle offensively had the first 2 runners aboard in the bottom of the 6th, here in the top of the 7th, Fort Dodge doing the same.
Yeah, the back and forth battle between these two teams has been nothing short of gritty.
Emerson Lara, the batter. She's 2 for 3. 2 RBIs and a run scored so far in this game. That pitch down for ball 1. For Fort Dodge, when they've gotten their first couple base runners on, it has meant runs. Back in the 4th, it was the only other inning in this game. They got their first 2 runners aboard. They scored 4 runs in that frame. There's a grounder, tough play. Smith from third comes up, gets the out at 1. Runners advance. There's 1 away.
That's another tough play for Smith to come up and make from third. But a great job securing an out. Helping out Bowman there in the circle.
It looked like that was going to be a tough play as both Smith and Bowman from the circle were going for it. And here's a bunt to the right side, and the throw is going to go to first from Heidemann. She thought for a second about trying to get the runner headed home. But that pushes a run in for Fort Dodge.
I almost thought she would have had a chance at a play at home there, but wanted to secure an out instead.
Pushes Fort Dodge's lead to 4 runs here. And Melina Meyer, the batter, with Zimmerman at third. First pitch from Bowman in there for a strike. And for Meg Marsh, that's her second sack bunt. So a pair of RBIs for Meg Marsh, the freshman. Meyer shows bunt, puts one down with 2 outs. Smith can go to first, and that will end the inning. A 4-run lead for Fort Dodge. Carlisle, their final at-bat coming up when we come back here on the Girls Union Network, powered by Mid-American Energy Company.
Something exciting is growing on Iowa farms these days. Innovation. From tractors that seed, weed, and harvest with data-driven precision to drones that scout or plant cover crops to protect soil and water. Even our animals live in smart homes with round-the-clock care. Technology keeps your food safer, water cleaner, and makes us more sustainable. Because what we do here benefits everyone here. Life on the farm makes everyone's life better.
Fort Dodge with a 7-3 lead over Carlisle. This is the 2 seed and the 3 seed. Carlisle, the 2 seed, got an 8-3 win over Fort Dodge on Tuesday. That was Carlisle's last contest. Fort Dodge, since then, defeated North Polk this morning 2-1 and is looking to force an elimination game. They need to hand Carlisle their first loss of this tournament before they get eliminated. So these two teams will battle it out for the final spot in the 4A championship game. Now, Carlisle, 5 runs to win it, or they push extras and find a way to win it. They would give Fort Dodge their second loss in this double elimination tournament, and that would send Carlisle to the championship game to face ADM. For a title game comes Thursday at 7:30 p.m. here in Fort Dodge at Harlan and Hazel Rogers Sports Complex. Anaya Oates will get it started for the Wildcats. Aubrey Allstott in the circle. Came in, faced the last 3 batters. And created 3 outs right away. There's a strike. 1-1 the count on Oates. Oates 2 for 3 today with a pair of singles and scored a run in the 5th inning. High chop goes to Lara, and the flip over to first in plenty of time for out number 1.
Emerson Lara with the throw to get Oates at first for out.
And so Olivia Freeman,
That'll bring up shortstop.
shortstop. She comes up 1 for 2. Had a double in the 5th inning. She would score a run in that inning and needs to get something started here for Carlisle in the bottom of the 7th. Called strike there. Allstott hitting the zone. 1-1 the count. Freeman hitting .436 on the season. She's an athlete, according to head coach Jim Flaws. He says every day she has a moment where you just say, wow.
Well, we've definitely seen plenty of those moments today so far, and she'll be looking for another one of those moments right about now.
There's the 2-1. Fouled away. 2 balls in, 2 strikes. And if you're Carlisle, you just got to think we need that first base runner.
Absolutely. One swing isn't going to change the game right now. You just need one base runner.
Line drive, Emerson Lara with the first 2 outs in this 7th inning. And that brings Mally Stoner to the plate. Stoner with a pair of RBIs, had a single in the third, drove in the first run of the game, and a sac fly RBI in the fifth. 2 away here in the bottom of the seventh. Fort Dodge trying to force that 7:15 game for later tonight between these two teams. That one stays up for a ball, and it's 2-0. Here on Channel Seed Field, there will not be a 5 o'clock game. That one misses low. 3 balls, no strikes to Stoner. There will not be a 5 o'clock game as the if necessary game for the top half of the bracket. Is not needed. ADM handing Western Dubuque their second loss of the tournament right before this game. And there's a called strike, so 3-1 the count.
Allstott in this moment definitely doesn't want to give up a free base with 2 outs in the bottom of the seventh. Just take care of it here. And that's exactly her mentality as she punches another strike in there.
Allstott trying to close this one out. Came in with a 3-run lead last inning. And that is a ground ball foul, third base side. Face 3 batters in the sixth to get 3 outs. And here's a full count pitch to Stoner to try and do the same in the seventh. That misses upstairs. A base on balls for Mally Stoner. And Carlisle stays alive.
Stoner with a base on balls. That'll bring up catcher Claire Benson.
And so in to run Courtney Hoffman, number 1, a sophomore. Going to run for Stoner.
Put some extra speed on the bases. Claire Benson move you around. Final chance for Carlisle to keep things rolling. In their first game of the day.
Claire Benson, the batter. First pitch ball from Allstott. And that one misses the zone. 2 balls, no strikes now to Claire Benson. Benson, the junior. Trying to simply pass it on to the next batter. That one is inside. 3 balls, no strikes. And that's a called strike.
We haven't seen much inside pitching today. Both Fort Dodge and Carlisle trying to stay low and outside against their opponent, but Allstott is freezing Benson right now.
And it's 2-2 now. He had a late strike, and that's a base hit into right field for Benson. And the rally stays alive for Carlisle. And for Benson, her 3rd hit of the game.
I never count them out. The game's not over until it's over. And they've still got 1 out to work with.
And Prentice-Sill out of the dugout to go run for Benson, the Wildcat catcher at first, as Assistant coach Brianna Dries out to the circle to talk to Allstott, and Andy Adams heads out there as well. Alongside Addie Wells, I am Brad Wells, bringing you some 4A action today. Saw Sydney Carver get the start for Fort Dodge. Aubrey Allstott has come in and retired the first 5 batters that she faced, or at least got outs on the first 5 batters.
Yeah, Sydney Carver did a great job today, limiting them to 8 hits, only 3 runs. Again, this Carlisle offense averages over 7 runs a game, so that's huge for her. Again, Fort Dodge, if they can find this last out and force the if necessary game, they've got 2 solid pitchers in their back pocket who have performed well against this Carlisle offense.
And so for the Carlisle Wildcats, Estella Bowman steps in with 2 on and 2 outs, trailing by 3. Called strike to start with Bowman. That one misses up. 1 ball, 1 strike. Estella Bowman, a single in her last at-bat, a grounder up the middle. Reached on a fielder's choice back in the 4th as well and popped out in her first at-bat in the 2nd inning. Here's the 1-1. 2-1 the count. A 4-run lead for Fort Dodge here in the bottom of the 7th. Carlisle looking for some 2-out magic. Here's the 2-1. Bowman hits it right to Hope Allstott, who makes the reaching grab to catch the line drive and end the game as Fort Dodge wins it 7-3. And that will set up a rematch for tonight at 7:15 between Carlisle and Fort Dodge.
There will be another game. We'll play that at 7:15 tonight, same 15.
And so we're going to have a handshake. Fort Dodge will put a sticker on the bracket here in advance. And, Addie, I'll sign up for one more game between these two teams.
Absolutely. They've both been thrillers, and we'll get a 3rd rematch at this 2026 Iowa Girls State Tournament. Both teams very deserving of fighting in the championship game, but the 7:15 game will determine exactly who it is.
For Fort Dodge, that 4-run 4th inning really was a huge momentum shifter and really felt like just grabbed control of this game.
It was. Bowman did a great job in the first 3.5 innings that she came in and worked through, but again, Fort Dodge finally settled in that 4th inning, was able to use the free bases that they earned to their advantage, and ultimately they powered ahead.
All right, she is Addie Wells. I am Brad Wells, and Fort Dodge adds the sticker for one more game as we will have Carlisle and Fort Dodge battling as the winner will advance to the 4A state championship game, the winner of the 7:15 game tonight. So
has not hit or scored a run in the 6th inning.
She was the only batter first time through the order this inning that didn't get on base, and she had